Alright, hello Whitey World. This is Explorer Side once again. Okay. Um Sorry ha, ngayon ko lang talaga napansin to. May question pala kasi dito sa recent content ko. Recent? Okay. Dun sa isa sa contents ko about writing a critic paper. So, this is a question raised by Kyla Argilies. And the question is, ano pong ibig sabihin ng styles and techniques? Okay, so since the content is about our critic paper, I will be trying to explain it in the context of an academic writing. Okay? Okay, first of all, I think the question came because it was stated in one of the contents that I made that in the structure of a book review or an article critique, you can mention in the summary the writer's objective or purpose, methods, major findings, plot, and also rather the techniques and styles. Okay, but primarily these are the usual contents of the summary part, which is just 10% of the paper. For the styles and the techniques, you can just simply mention about if it's a persuasive narrative and so on. Okay, so let me continue. When we speak about writing technique, we typically mean that it's the style. So they refer the same thing, okay? The style an author uses to convey their message in a manner. So technique would also refers to the style, the manner that is being used by the author to convey the meaning of their message. So it could be descriptive, narrative, expository, and persuasive. And I think you heard that already being discussed in your classes before. So you can just mention that this persuasive or this expository and so on. That is usually for literary. Okay, for literary. For your paper, for instance, for a critic paper, most often the text being critic is I think on a journal article. So most often it's an expository. It's an expository text. Okay. Also, style in writing, when we speak about style, ano po yung style? It's the way a writer writes. Paano ba magsulat yung writer? It's the technique that an individual author uses in his writing. So again, it's almost the same thing. Style, kanina si style, I rather say technique, it refers to style. Ngayon naman si style it's the technique that an individual author uses in writing. So it's the same also. It refers to descriptive, narrative, expository, and persuasive. Example, there are different ways or style, technique in delivering text. So, depende yan kung narrative ba siya. So, if you can see here, meron siyang mga styles like meron siyang who said, like Jenny, and so on, like this one, Jenny. So, meron siyang quotation marks. That's the style. Narrative yung style niya. Pag descriptive naman, you can see here the words being vividly described and persuasive. May mga markers siya like strongly believe and so on. So, I repeat, most often, technically, it refers to if it's narrative, descriptive, and persuasive. However, there are different ways also to explain later in your critique the style or technique of the author. So these are the different, more specific ways if you would like to critique the paper ha, in a more comprehensive manner so you can use it. Okay. Again, it's in the perspective of academic writing. Okay, such as a critic or a review paper. So when you say academic writing, it has its own style of expression that researchers use to define the intellectual boundaries of their disciplines and specific areas of expertise. authorities. There are different characteristics of academic writing. First, it's formal in tone. So you cannot use, just like what your teachers often say, you cannot use slang, colloquial like ain't, gonna. You cannot also use contractions and so on. Use of third person. So most often you can see there the researchers. It is, you seldom see there I. Okay, I wrote, I said, and so on. So it's often in the third person point of view. There is a clear focus. Kaya nga, di ba, sa research ninyo, pahirapang maipasa ang title. Kasi nga, kailangan clear yung focus, yung SOP or statement of the problem. The words should be precise or specific. So for example, if you'd like to mean small, gaano ka small? So would you be saying minute? It's very tiny. Ganun. So you have to be very specific with the words or precise. Objective, there should be no bias. Yung parang may kinikilingan ka. And without emotive language. Paano ba yung emotive language? For example, yung pinaparamdam mo na galit ka, the use of exclamation point, that's also way. I am madly, deeply in love with research, ganon, no, it cannot be. Dapat walang emotive language. You have to be very precise lang. Okay, so just like what I've mentioned, still stylistic elements, the big picture. One of the styles is that it's formal and logical. And one of the ways to do it is the use also of cohesive devices. Yung logical flow of ideas must be present and all the parts or ideas are connected to form a unified whole. So pag magkikritik ka, titignan mo kung yung thesis statement ba ay na-explain, na-expound ng masyado dun sa body part, na-reiterate ba hanggang sa conclusion part. So it must be unified. Okay? To form a whole. So you can mention that. So pag magkikritik kayo, you have to start it from the introduction, even from the title to the intro to the body until to the conclusion. The diction, the choice of words is like what I've mentioned a while back. Concrete, hindi dapat general. Okay. Then, the attitude. Arguments are presented fairly. There should be no bias. The language must be neutral even. For example, instead of saying chairman, you can use chairperson. Mga ganon. Next. This is very important also in academic writing. The citing of sources. Importante na you mention who said it, and also the source must also be reliable. For example, yung Wikipedia, hindi yan dapat. So most often pag naghahanap ako sa Google Scholar, ganun siya. It also says here, avoid contractions, like ain't, not, I couldn't, mga ganon. So contractions are not suggested. Colloquial like ain't, gonna, ganon. Use kiddos, alright. Use first and second pronouns only when necessary also, like I or you. And evidence-based yung reasoning. Okay, what is valued in academic writing is that statements are based on evidence-based. That's why when we check papers, for example, position paper, yun yung wala sa AI. Okay, yung mga uso ngayon, yung mga AI, yung kukunin mo na lang sa Google Scholar, kulang sila ng evidence-based. So, majority are opinions. Kasi nag-try ako trinay ko yung AI na yan okay, ang ganda-ganda ng mga opinions, ang ganda-ganda ng mga ideas, pero, ang ganda-ganda ng arguments, pero, kulang ng evidence. Which is, your evidence should be coming from academic or peer-reviewed sources. Mahanap mo yon sa Google Scholar, sa mga PDF, peer-reviewed talaga ha. Marami. Most often sa Google Scholar talaga ako naghahanap. Okay, hindi yung kung saan-saan lang. Okay, so yan. Those are the different stylistic elements. Yeah, may isa pa pala. Thesis-driven. When you say thesis-driven, clear kung ano yung point mo. Kung ano yung argument or point mo. Ano ba yung gusto mo na ma-express if you are the one who is writing the thesis paper or the position paper, or kung nagkikritik ka naman, clear dun sa paper kung ano ba talaga yung ini-study. Is it thoroughly discussed or being presented in the paper? Okay, so it will all boil down to the argument or to the point. Actually, ganun din pag nagpa-panel yung mga panelists. Pag nagkikritik yung mga panelists, they see first if the SOP or the thesis, the purpose statement is clearly being presented. Okay, so na may alignment ba siya? Ganun. So a paper, an academic paper must be thesis driven. Yan, pag wala yun, yung thesis statement mo, yung argument, your point, your paper is pointless. So, ganun din sa mga critic paper, sa mga position paper, and so on. Ganun din sa mga ikikritik ninyo, isa sa mga titignan is, clear ba yung argument o yung point, yung purpose statement? Kung research yan, clear ba yung reason why the research is being conducted, the SOP or the statement of the problem is clearly presented, is it clearly studied, or there seems to be inconsistencies. Yan, from SOP to the tool and to the presentation of ideas. So, yun lang. So, those are the different styles of academic writing na pwede mong i-observe sa mismong paper mo or pwede mong i-discuss na kulang doon sa mismong paper na ini-study mo or krinikritik mo. Okay, so yun lang. Thank you so much. I hope we are reminded always to choose to be happy. And